the li dot projects, and let's go ahead and float them, float left, so that the cells go next to one another. Let's give each a width of, obviously, how we think is the following. If we have 4 cells and we want the cells to be from the left side to the right side of the screen, and if the screen is 100%, the first thing we think about is 100 divided by 4 is 25. So we would think 25%. But actually 25% is not a great choice, because we also have the thickness of the dashed border. Okay, so if we choose to have each li to be 25%, the fourth cell is going to jump on a new line. So to avoid that from happening, let's just say 24.9% or something around that value. Padding 3% from the top, 0 from the right, 1% from the bottom, and 0 from the left. And then a border left, 0.1 em dashed and white, and then border bottom 0.1 em dashed and white. Let's refresh the page now. Oops. Okay, so this is it. We have our cells. We have our 4 cells. Each cell is 24.9% wide, and they are floating next to one another because we said float left. And obviously there's an issue because the images look odd. You know, they're occupying almost the entire width of the li. We don't want that, so let's make that change now. Okay, li dot projects space image, width is 75%. So we would want the thumbnail image to be 75% the width of the li, which means 75% of 24.9%. That's how we do the math. So 75%, let's save this and refresh the page. Okay, so as you can see, it's much nicer now. The thumbnail is 75% the 24.9 width, and everything looks great. Now, if you notice when you scroll down, the footer is fixed. This is what I meant at the beginning, that the footer is fixed. You can also choose to have the header fixed. That's also a very nice feature. So the header stays in place and then everything scrolls down under the header. That's a very cool feature. You can do that on your own. It's the same concept of position fixed and then top and left zeros. Now, what we want to do here, there's an issue with, you see the word project name is, cut. It's actually not cut, it's behind the footer. So we can just add some margin here and just add some space. What we want to do is go to portfolio.html and look at the last 4 LIs, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and give each an other class. Okay, so currently the LIs, all of the LIs have a class projects. We only want to choose the last 4, and in addition to class projects, we just insert a space and give it another class, distance. Let's call it distance wide. Okay, copy this and paste it. Okay, so the last 4 LIs have this additional class which has the value distance wide. Now let's go to style, li dot distance wide open close curly braces, margin bottom 2.5%. Refresh the page, and that's resolved. Okay, we just added some margin at the bottom of the LI in order to save our project name. We're going to build the project A.html page now. So let's go to our portfolio page, duplicate it, call it project A.html, and then open that in Text Wrangler. Let's make it bigger. Okay, so what do we want to keep? What do we want to remove? We're obviously placing everything inside of div ID container, so we'll keep that. We'll keep the intro section, except that we'll call this project A, which is a placeholder name. Obviously, you can replace with your own project A, and I'm keeping the lorem ipsum intro text. Then I will remove the entire UL. Okay, and instead of that, we will create a div. So let's, open and close the div and give it an ID project area. Okay, so this div contains an image, source equals, in the images folder we have an image called project a1.png, which is the image of a desktop. Okay, I'm going to give it an ID desktop because we might need to style this image in a certain way. Let's see, desktop. So that's our first image. It's followed by some text, which is an explanation of what that project is. So we can copy, we can copy this entire lorem ipsum from here and paste it there. Okay, and instead of typing again, let's just copy the image and the P and paste it once and twice. So in total we have 3 images and 3 paragraphs underneath. Now the second image is a different image. It's an image of a tablet. A2, A3, and we don't need those IDs, I don't think, unless there's something to do with these images. If so, we'll come back and place IDs here. And that's basically it for now. Let's save this and refresh. Actually, let's refresh this page and then click on this first thumbnail or the name, project name. Both of them take us to project A.html. Okay, so this is project A.html. This is the image of the desktop, followed by the paragraph, followed by the iPhone and paragraph, and then the tablet and paragraph. I prefer to put the tablet before the iPhone, so let's switch those numbers. So let's call this project A3, project A2. Okay, refresh the page. So we have desktop, tablet, and phone. Now let's go ahead and style this because obviously this is not the layout that we want. So go to style.css, and this is which section? It's after the portfolio section. We can open a new section called project. Okay. So div found project area, open close curly braces, text, align, center. Okay, so this whole area It's the div called, whose ID is project area, contains the 3 images of desktop, tablet, and phone, and the 3 paragraphs. We want to apply a text align center so that everything that div contains, which are inline level content, images, and text, will be centered. We also want to apply some padding, 4% and 0. Okay, let's save that and refresh the page. Okay, this is nice, very good. And let's style the P now. Div found project area space P. Let's give it some margin. %2 from the top, 20% from the right, 2% from the bottom, and 20% from the left. So we're really actually squeezing it in the middle, as you can see. And we can give it some line height as well, 2 EM. Okay, so it's nice and there's enough space between each line. Let's also give a width to the desktop image. So image found desktop, open close curly braces, width 65% of the screen. Okay, and then refresh the page, so something like this. Obviously when you scale down, since it's a percentage value, it scales down with the screen width. What we want to add at the bottom of this page is a previous and next buttons so that the user can go to the next project if they wish to do so. So in your project A.html page, right after the last P, let's open a new div and close that div. Give the div an ID, prev next, and then let's write what we want to say. So we want a button that says previous project, and we want to add this / next project, and we want some space between the word project and the /, and in order to do that we can write this syntax, the and N B S P semicolon, okay, space and space. You can, to add more space, just copy this and paste it one more time and do the same thing right here. Okay, now this is what we want to see, but obviously we want the word previous project and the phrase next project to be a link, so we have to place them each in an A element. Let's open the A element right here and close it here. Open the A element here and close it after the word project, and then href. So if we're on project A.html page, previous project should link to project Z.html. Now maybe you have different names. Maybe you have 1, 2, 3 through 26 or 100, whatever. You choose the name of your file and you give it the proper name. What I'm doing here is just the logic, okay, for you to know what to do later on. So project Z, let's say, .html, and then here href, this button should link to project B, because we're on project A page and we want the next button to go to project B.html. Okay, let's save this and just see how this looks. First of all, refresh the page. So these are our buttons, very well.